We're going to make it the official theme, Tim. So as many episodes as you do, we're going to sing Animal. Middle of the night. Tim, take it.
Whoa. I don't know Animal. Where did this come from?
My turn. Middle of the afternoon. I don't know all the words. But I got a good part coming up. Don't you worry. All right, Tim, you take the next lyrics. It's just a nightmare. One lavish nightmare. You call me animal, and that's just not the truth. I'm no animal. No voice either.
All right.
Animal with you. I'm saving it for one part. No animal. Here we go. Oh.
Dude, I'm learning it. What is that?
That's Animal by Felony, maybe? I don't know. It's from Friday the 13th, part 6, Tim.
All right. Consider it learned.
He's Tim. I'm Ronnie. All the good names are taken. Podcast 31 days. Day 2, Tim. And we step in to the world of the Ghoulies. So Tim explained to all you guys yesterday. He's not a horror guy. He knows nothing about horror. He sent me a text earlier today. This is the worst movie I've ever seen. What exactly was the quote, Tim?
It's the worst movie I've ever seen, and I will never see another movie as bad or as dumb as this movie.
Let's check in at the end of the month and see how many times Tim says this over the course of the month. Tim, my first question for you about Ghoulies.
Yeah.
I'm going to start with a statement.
Okay.
I remember as a kid going through the video store, seeing Ghoulies. I remember watching it once upon a time.
Great VHS cover. Little dude coming out of the toilet. You're like, oh, yeah, this is great.
It's one of those. I mean, if you did a video on best VHS covers, Ghoulies is there because I've always remembered Ghoulies. Green thing coming out of the toilet. Did the damn thing ever come out of the toilet in the movie? Tell me.
No, but you do understand that the bald green dudes are aquatic in nature, which is weird that they did that.
For some reason, I thought I remembered it. Maybe Ghoulies too. Ghoulies go to college. It may be that where they come out of the toilet. I don't know. I just hit Tim with the name of part 2, and he's amazed.
So the thing about the Ghoulies art is, somebody was like, hey, so here's the green guy. They're like killing people from the water, and some dude just put him in a toilet. Like there was no discussion. I mean, it's great. Like it's almost false advertising because you get the impression that these are the main bad dudes in the movie. Like they're the ones. Like you see Ghoulies, you see the front of the VCR or the VHS cover, and you think it's Gremlins, right?
Yes.
Like these tiny things are going to be getting into hijinks, yada yada yada. That's not what Ghoulies is about. It is misnamed. It is mismarketed. It's terrible.
Well, is it mismarketed because everybody remembers it? Here's my thing. If you go into Ghoulies 1984 wanting to see the Ghoulies the entire movie,
you're screwed.
You're going to be severely disappointed. They make at the most 5 or 6 appearances. They don't do what Elvis says, TCB. They don't start taking care of business till about 20 minutes left in the movie. Up until then, the only action they had is they showed up while the 2 main characters were screwing, and they were watching it, and I thought maybe they was going to jump in there and give him a hand. Tim, let's start at the very beginning of this movie because every epic tale starts where else? At the beginning. What the hell's happening at the beginning of this movie? Because all I wrote in my notes was devil worshippers.
So this is the only part that's good because you have satanic Billy Idol in the cheapest, satanic ritual altar of all time trying to sacrifice a baby.
It's the guy from the Seinfeld episode where the guy has the BO. He's the maitre d' at the restaurant, and he's the one they put into the car to make him smell it.
Dude,
I'll pay half, $150.
He's got a sweet ass horn hood. Like that thing was awesome.
Well, I thought one of 2 things was happening. I thought this was Manos, the Hands of Fate, because they were always doing the robe up like this.
Right.
Or it could have been a scene of the devil worshippers from Dragnet 1987 with Dan Aykroyd and Tom Hanks. I thought this might have been the pagans, and they were going after the bait magazines that had the in them, and they was going to burn it. But no, all this is a guy up there, obvious devil worshiper. He's got 7 guys in sheets, white sheets, by the way, which, being from Mississippi, made up. And then he's like doing magic and shit, and things are like popping up. It's sort of like the Wizard of Oz. Don't look behind the robe. And then they bring a baby up there, Tim.
Well, if you're gonna the full description, his eyes are always glowing green.
Yeah,
so you know this guy's legit. He's got power.
He's got green eyes like the ghoulie. And they're bringing this baby up there to sacrifice. And all of a sudden, this woman goes nuts and says, no, you said you'd never do it. We later find out that this is his son that he was fisting to sacrifice to steal.
You know that was his son because he looked at her and was like, whore, which, I was like, oh, so that's his.
She put some kind of necklace on him to protect him, and then he couldn't touch him anymore. He's like, get that out of here.
He didn't even know about the necklace because he tried.
And then the uncle from Meatballs 4 comes and takes the baby and gets the hell out of there.
Dude, is that the only place I know that dude from?
He was in Eraserhead, a movie I've never seen. I looked up his IMDb.
Dude, was he the guy in Eraserhead?
He was the guy in Eraserhead.
Oh, my God. So this is like, it's crazy to me. Dude, this blows my mind. He went from one of the auteur art house movies of all time to this. That is wild. That is insane.
Well, you got to pay the rent, Tim.
Jesus. I've seen Eraserhead. You guys should do that.
I've never seen Eraserhead. I've always seen the poster, and it looks neat. But like I said, I know this guy from Meatballs 4 with Corey Feldman.
All right.
Then we flash forward. And then this is where the movie starts to have problems for me. We're introduced to Jonathan and Rebecca in their late 30s, and we're supposed to think they're college.
So he's wearing his college sweater, and if the guy's a day younger than 32, somebody's lying.
I looked it up. He was 35 years old filming this movie.
Dude, no way. Is that serious?
That's serious. He was born in
oh God.
He was born in 1949.
Oh my God.
And this movie was put out in 1984. He was probably 34, but 35 when the movie came out. Jesus. And he looks every year of it. I did not for a second believe he was a 20-something in college.
No.
Later in the movie, when he says, I decided to take a semester off, I was like, from what?
He took that semester off 10 years ago. He hasn't gone back.
I'm taking a gap decade. I'll be back. But no, he inherits this huge house where they're doing all the devil worshiping at the beginning of it. And the movie, we're introduced to him and his girlfriend Rebecca as they're walking around the grounds. It's all destroyed. And she's like, oh, we've got money now. Do you think we can get a maid and a chef? And he's like, I can't even afford to cut the grass in this.
So if you show up, you got your new house, you've got a gravestone with a pentagram on it. Yes. They buried the demon, like the Satan priest, and they made it appropriate.
Who killed him?
Who did that? Who's like, you know what? Dude really loves Satan. Let's get the pentagram on his headstone. He would have liked it.
We leave the devil worshiping scene with the uncle from Meatballs 4 or the boss from Meatballs 4, whichever he is. Eraserhead grabs the baby and walks off. The last thing we see is the devil worshiper, the main devil worshiper. They say his name's Malcolm Graves, which is an awesome name on IMDb. He does some kind of magic where he brings some kind of green out of, which I guess is his wife. And then we cut to the future. I'd love to know who killed him. You would think nobody would be able to kill this guy.
Okay, now's a good time to mention how crappy the movie is at character motivation. Like, so why? When does the movie explain why you would want to be a powerful sorcerer? Like, what is their motivation? If you control these ghoulies, like you're still gonna have trouble taking over Walmart. Like, what's your end game here? Why?
Well, I don't know. When Jonathan learns the dark arts, he's able to turn Rebecca into a sex slave.
But that's it.
Yeah, pretty much. And you can make midgets.
All right.
That's what Jonathan does right off the bat. He goes, hey, I got to have some buddies. And he makes a couple of midgets. and they show up to help him. They turn
Ronnie, what was your favorite scene
in this movie?
in this movie?
In this movie?
In this movie.
Okay, so what did I like the most about this movie? I thought the movie started to hit a little bit of a stride when, spoiler alert, the original devil worshiper, his father, returns from the grave. That's probably my favorite scene. Is when
it hits its stride about an hour and 15 minutes in.
I didn't say it was the best, Tim. I said when he returns from the dead and starts killing people and has the ghoulies kill people, that was the best parts of the movie. It has like a 10-minute stretch where him and the ghoulies kill everybody, and then at the end of it, him and Wolfgang have this badass wizard fight with each other.
There's some lightning stuff happening.
So I think that was the better parts of the movie. But this movie has major problems because they're at this house not even a week before he's down in the basement reading from this book. Why all of a sudden does he want to be the master devil worshiper? What sense does that make? Though the girlfriend Rebecca asked to have a party, and it's weird seeing all these 40-year-olds have like a college kegger.
I got to talk about this party.
It's great.
The party sequence, because it's not just one scene, it lasts forever. The weird synth music that is just one guy banging on his keyboard.
Let me interrupt you.
Okay, go ahead.
No, you said it lasted forever. The party lasted so long. Tim is exactly right that I thought the movie was going to end during this party. I thought the whole movie was going to take place during this party after a seance. Go ahead.
What is it with these 80 horror movies where if teenagers have parties, they're definitely getting into some satanic stuff? Like, that's not the only time I've seen this doing 31 Days of Horror at AT&T and AT.
All I'm saying is that in the South, we don't play around with pentagrams. Check out this logo. I took the pentagram off of it.
If someone at a party was like, I've never been so messed up at a party where I was like, yeah, let's draw the symbol on the ground and do some chants. Like that would never enter my mind. The worst part about the party scene is that I realized there's going to be the stoner drug party dude character, which is the worst character in any movie they ever appear in. He starts dancing, and I thought he starts dancing on the floor. I thought it was Dana Carvey. I thought he was being possessed. I thought that was going to be the end of it. Like, the ghoulies are like making him dance till he has a heart attack. But no, it just ended, and it was with some lame joke. I hit my head. I saw Colbrook, dude. I thought it'd be important.
He's talking about the character of Mike, who also plays one of the assholes in the original Police Academy that shaves his head.
Your favorite ghoulie. Give me your favorite ghoulie.
I don't have a favorite ghoulie.
Dude, googly eyes, gremlin dude. His eyes would roll back in the back of his head. He was like the furry dude, and he had these huge eyes, and they kept like looking around like they were the only things that moved on the doll. And when he got really excited, they'd roll all the way back in his head.
What was the name of the big animals in Princess Bride? Rodents of unusual size. That's what he looked like in the face. He looks like one of the rodents of unusual size. I guess if I had to pick a favorite, Tim, it would be whatever was in the clown, because I was waiting for that clown to come to life the whole movie, and finally it does. And then that green thing came out of it.
So does that double as your favorite death?
No, my favorite death is Tongue.
Dude, tell me why. Tell me why.
Well, there's two reasons.
Me too. It's going to be great.
Ours definitely won't be the same. One, he's making out with a dude. And this wizard, in 2 points in this movie, does the bad guy wizard go, kiss me. He's trying to get his son to kiss him at the end of it, which I thought was weird. But anyway, he makes out with a dude, and then he gets the tongue around his neck, Freddy Krueger style. But the only reason is it's the perfect way to kill somebody who introduces himself as, my name's Dick, but you can call me Dick.
Dude. That's exactly right. It's the ultimate double whammy for this character. Not only is he dying, but he's dying knowing he kissed a dude. Like that's his final moment in life. Greatest horror movie death ever. It's fantastic.
I was trying to interpret what the main devil worshiper was saying at the very beginning of the movie, and I shit you not, he goes, let me see, I have it written right here. He says, yippee suplex before he tries to sacrifice the baby, like yippee suplex. So I mean, like Lance Russell or Gordon Soley. I don't know what he was going for there. That's Chris about Benoit. It. I mean, Look, we could talk about this. They missed a golden opportunity at a good movie, I think. We think that Jonathan is going evil. Jonathan is all about the dark arts. He wants power. Like I said, he manifests out of nowhere 2 midget slaves to help him get even more power. He brings the Ghoulies back to life to serve him. He thinks he has it all figured out, and then his girlfriend's going to leave him because nobody wants to be married to a devil worshiper.
Whoa. But so let me ask you, though, you said all that. And before you get to where he turns it around, I want to ask you this. Are we supposed to cheer for one of these guys at the end of the movie?
No.
There's not a good guy. They don't have any purpose except more power, which, as far as I can tell, is summoning these guys that could kill someone at a party. I mean, glowing green eyes. There's no reason for any. They don't set up a reason for any of this. And when there's the fight at the end, I don't care who wins. They're both bad dudes.
Bad guys. They're both bad guys fighting. Like I said, there had to be like some kind of script change somewhere in, because it seemed like the movie was headed down a path where Jonathan was going to lead the life of his father, evil sorcerer, and he even brings his his friends back because he needs 7 sacrifices or whatever. So while he's doing this seance, he accidentally brings his father back to life, and boom, we find out that the father lured him there to resurrect him. So Jonathan, while he's sitting there in the kneeling position with the green eyes trying to get all the power, his father is going around killing all his friends with the Ghoulies. At the end of it, they square off because Rebecca falls down the stairs and dies.
That's a wizard battle.
Yeah, he takes Rebecca downstairs to try to save her. And then she's up and being possessed by his father at one point, and the midgets turn face and say, "Don't fall for it, Jonathan." And then she just drops dead. And that's when Wolfgang comes in out of nowhere, because I didn't even bring up the fact that 25 minutes into the movie, somebody starts narrating it.
Oh, dude, who was that?
That was Wolfgang. He starts.
Did they establish that? Did I miss that?
They never established it. I'm just assuming that's Wolfgang.
Dude, that was wild. And so I'm spaced out, right? Like, I'm watching the whole thing, and all of a sudden it hits me. I'm like, did they just start narrating, or have I missed it up until this point? Dude, it was nuts. It was crazy. It may be where they just couldn't finish. There may be whole scenes they were supposed to shoot, and they were like, this is going way too long.
This movie is
Put the Ghoulies in the back of the car, make it a comedy. Let's rock and roll.
This movie's so much better if Jonathan turns into the bad guy and Rebecca has to kill him at the end of the movie. Instead, they did the cop-out route where Wolfgang goes into the abyss with his father, and everybody all of a sudden's back to life. Everybody that got killed, all his friends, including Rebecca, who gets up a couple of minutes earlier after it was established that she was dead.
Yeah.
She wakes up. I mean, she's back. It's a cop-out because at the end, everybody's alive and they're trying to get the hell out of there. And then we get the jump scare at the end when the stoner sees one of the Ghoulies in the back seat with him.
It's crazy that a movie that I remember as a kid, because it must have had more. I mean, I saw posters in places. It was this unfinished. It's a bad movie. Like, it's really crappy. Like, it's not even. I mean, I guess for educational value, like for research purposes on cheesy 80s horror movies, you'd want to see it, but it has no entertainment value.
No, I was going in expecting like a horror movie. Ghoulies 1984. 3.4, Tim. What do you got?
Oh, out of 10? It's a 1. They're the only redeeming. There's nothing to redeem about it. I like that one Ghoulie with the eyes, and that was it.
Dude, they get a perfect 10 for marketing because everybody knows the Ghoulies. There's no way people remember this movie, or they wouldn't want to remember the Ghoulies.
So there's a Ghoulies 2.
And a Ghoulies 3 and a Ghoulies 4, I believe.
Is it straight up comedy? Like they just had the Ghoulies like gremlining it up and getting into hijinks?
Sure. I don't know. I can't remember ever seeing it.
Explain the end of this movie to me, Ronnie. It's supposed to be a horror movie.
Yeah.
And at the end of the movie, all the Ghoulies are in the back of the car. Like it's all of a sudden it's, Weekend at Bernie's 4 Ghoulies.
Well, no, the ending is you're supposed to get from the ending that the Ghoulies are going to kill everybody in that car. And that they're still alive.
Dude, I totally read that as like it's a party scene. Like
did you?
The Ghoulies are on the road trip with them, and they are aware that they're in there.
I just assumed that they would try to kill the people in the car.
Okay, well,
Like I
your
said,
ending better.
This place is this
1
this
out
movie-
of 10. It's terrible.
Movies all over the place. Hit us in the comments. What is your score for Ghoulies? What do you think about Ghoulies? Do you disagree? Do you agree with anything that me and Tim has said? Day 2 in the books, Tim. Ghoulies. October the 2nd. Hope you guys are having a great October, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.